Hello, welcome to my channel. Before proceeding to study, please subscribe to my channel. Today, we will explore the fascinating world of game theory with engineering applications. We'll dive into key concepts like rules on three levels: operational, constitutive, implicit, identity of a game. Let's get started. Slide 1. Rules on three levels in game theory. Game theory is a mathematical framework used to study strategic interactions among rational players. It applies to various fields, including economics, artificial intelligence, and engineering. Within any game, there are three fundamental levels of rules that govern gameplay. 1. Operational rules. These are the explicit rules that dictate how the game is played. 2. Constitutive rules. These define the logical structure and underlying mechanics of a game. 3. Implicit rules. These are the unwritten, socially accepted rules that influence player behavior. Example to relate. Let's take chess as an example. The operational rules define how each piece moves, how to capture an opponent's piece, and the conditions for checkmate. The constitutive rules define the logical framework, such as the concept of turn-based strategy and the winning conditions. The implicit rules include etiquette like not disturbing an opponent during their move or resigning when checkmate is inevitable. Understanding these three levels is crucial for game design, strategy formulation, and AI-based decision-making. Slide 2. Operational rules. Definition. Operational rules are the fundamental set of instructions that define how a game is played at a surface level. These rules specify actions that players can take, how the game progresses, and the conditions for winning or losing. Key features explained. 1. Define player moves, actions, and consequences. These rules determine how players interact with the game environment. For example, in a racing game, acceleration, braking, and turning are all governed by operational rules. 2. Enforce restrictions and boundaries within the game. Games have constraints to maintain structure. For instance, in chess, a knight can only move in an L shape. Players cannot make illegal moves. 3. Include turn-based mechanics or real-time execution. Some games, like chess, follow a turn-based system, whereas others, like a first-person shooter, FPS, occur in real time. 4. Govern scoring mechanisms and victory conditions. Every game has a scoring or ranking system. In soccer, goals determine the winner, while in an arcade game, points might be the deciding factor. 5. Ensure consistency and fairness in gameplay. Rules ensure fairness, preventing one player from gaining an unfair advantage. In competitive gaming, standardized rules help maintain balance. 6. Typically documented in the game manual. Players can refer to a rulebook or tutorial to understand how to play the game correctly. 7. Essential for structured play and learning. Without operational rules, a game would be chaotic, and players would not know how to engage properly. Example. In a football video game, operational rules include dribbling mechanics, passing mechanics, and rules for fouls and penalties. Significance. These rules create the structure of a game, making it playable and engaging. They also influence game difficulty and player skill development. Slide 3. Constitutive rules. Definition. Constitutive rules form the mathematical and logical framework of a game. These rules are not always visible to the player but define the core mechanics. Key features explained. 1. Define game balance, probability, and strategy. For example, in a card game, the probability of drawing a specific card affects decision-making and strategy. 2. Govern scoring systems and decision-making strategies. If a game rewards aggressive play versus defensive play, the scoring system impacts how players approach the game. 3. Influence game complexity and replayability. Games with well-designed constitutive rules remain engaging over time. Chess has a simple set of operational rules, but its strategic depth comes from its constitutive rules. 4. Provide mathematical reasoning for possible outcomes. Constitutive rules define the probability of an event occurring in the game. For example, in a dice-based game, the constitutive rules define the odds of rolling a specific number. 5. Hidden from players but dictate game behavior. Players often do not see these rules directly, but they influence their experience. For example, in an AI-driven game, the AI decision-making algorithm follows specific constitutive rules. 6. Shape the fairness of competitive play. The balance between risk and reward in a game is dictated by these rules, ensuring that no single strategy dominates unfairly. 7. Affect AI design in computer games. AI opponents in games use constitutive rules to simulate decision-making and difficulty scaling. Example. In a tic-tac-toe game, the rule that states 3 marks in a row lead to victory is a constitutive rule. Significance. These rules provide the logical backbone of a game, ensuring fairness, strategy, and long-term engagement. Slide 4. Implicit rules. Definition. Implicit rules are unwritten, socially accepted norms that influence player behavior. Key features explained. 1. Encourage fair play and ethical conduct. Players are expected to follow good sportsmanship, even if not enforced by the game. 2. Prevent exploitation of loopholes in operational rules. For instance, some multiplayer games have honor rules, where players agree not to exploit bugs. 3. Foster sportsmanship and respect among players. Not mocking or humiliating opponents after winning is an implicit rule in most games. 4. May vary across cultures and gaming communities. Different gaming communities may have different etiquette rules regarding playstyle and behavior. 5. Often evolve with the game's player base. For example, online communities may create their own meta rules, like agreed upon strategies or banning certain tactics. 6. Influence in game etiquette, e.g., no cheating or trolling. Many gaming communities discourage toxic behavior, even if the game itself does not explicitly prevent it. 7. Promote a positive player experience. Implicit rules contribute to a more enjoyable and respectful gaming environment. Example. In multiplayer online battle games, quitting a match before it ends is seen as disrespectful, even if the game technically allows it. Significance. Implicit rules help build a fair and enjoyable gaming culture, especially in competitive and multiplayer environments. Slide 5. Identity of a game, integration of rules. Definition. A game's identity is shaped by the integration of operational, constitutive, and implicit rules. This determines the overall experience and perception of the game. Key features explained. 1. Defines the unique characteristics of a game. What makes chess different from checkers? It's the combination of all 3 levels of rules. 2. Influences player engagement and immersion. A well-structured game keeps players engaged and interested. 3. Affects game branding and recognition. Popular games have a recognizable identity built on their rules and mechanics. 4. Determines whether a game is competitive, cooperative, or casual. The balance between these rule types defines the game's category. 5. Ensures rules are cohesive and interdependent. If the rules contradict each other, the game will be confusing and unbalanced. 6. Plays a crucial role in game design and development. Developers carefully design rule interactions to create enjoyable experiences. 7. Helps balance player skill and game complexity. A game should be accessible yet challenging enough to remain interesting. Example. The identity of chess is shaped by operational rules, how pieces move. Constitutive rules, turn-based strategy logic, implicit rules, respect for opponents. Significance. A strong identity makes a game memorable, competitive, and enjoyable.